Chapter 2. You are listening at FameTV.info. The fire started, and the cold and damp barracks gradually became warm. The dagger was inserted on the ground beside him. Gu Qingshan, wrapped in bandages, leaned against the wall and sat on the ground. His face was heavy. From time to time the mind falls into a blank state. Many things in his memory, which he tried to think about, were vague. The soldier named Zhao Lu brought a pot of soup, put it on the fire and covered it. Zhao Lu took out a small box and handed it to Gu Qingshan. He said, "Thanks to you, or I will die in the hands of that monster." "What is this?" Gu Qingshan took the box and asked. Zhao Lu Dao. "The only 2 pills of healing pills left in the camp." Gu Qingshan asked, "Why don't you keep it for yourself?" Zhao Lu shook his head and said, "I'm not a practitioner. I can't use this." Gu Qingshan opened the box and found 2 pills in it. Gu Qingshan took out one and put it in his hand to examine it carefully. Dan medicine phase in good condition, even the surface of a thin layer of sealing wax are not a bit off. The light green pill gives out a faint fragrance, which makes people feel the spirit. This is healing pill. Healing pill is the lowest level of blood-adding medicine. In the past, Gu Qingshan couldn't even look at it. But now it's reborn. In the past, his cultivation has been reduced to nothing. His body is full of scars. These 2 healing pills are priceless. Gu Qingshan can't help but ask. The whole camp, only these 2 healing pills? Zhao Lu sighed and said, "Yes, after all the people died, the supply route was cut off. Not only the pills, but also all kinds of other materials were left." Gu Qingshan was silent for a moment, and suddenly remembered one thing. "Is there any spirit stone in the barracks?" Zhao Lu Dao. "No more." "That's too bad." Gu Qingshan sighed. Zhao Lu quickly asked, "How?" Gu Qingshan said. "The hidden array in the camp is very weak. If there is no spirit stone to supplement it, the array will soon disappear." Zhao Lu shivered, got up and rushed out madly. "If the concealment array stops, the demons will find this camp immediately, and then it will be 10 dead without life. It is no wonder that the 2 captains were in despair when they left a few days ago." Gu Qingshan watched him rush out and waited for more than 10 minutes. There was a gentle hum outside. After this sound, it means that the array has been filled with new spirit stones and restarted. Until he heard the sound, Gu Qingshan was slightly relieved. As expected, Zhao Lu hid the spirit stone privately. In this world, everyone is real and flesh and blood. If we regard them as NPC without wisdom, we will suffer a lot. Gu Qingshan learned this truth a long time ago. After a while, Zhao Lu came back with a heavy step and sat down slowly against the wall, covering his face and crying. Gu Qingshan said, "What are you crying for?" Zhao Lu said. "This time, the spirit stone is really used up. When the array fails next time, we will be killed by demons." Gu Qingshan was silent for a moment. He pinched the seal wax on the pill, swallowed the healing pill, and began to try to sense the spiritual power in his body. At first, he was still a little nervous. He didn't know whether he could feel the spiritual power. "I didn't expect that everything was going well." The spirit power in the elixir field immediately responded to his call and cooperated with him to turn the medicine into medicine and carry it to all parts of the body. Gu Qingshan only felt warm all over his body, and there were bursts of numbness and itching around his wounds. The wound has begun to heal. When the medicine was exhausted and Gu Qingshan opened his eyes again, it was the latter half of the night. Gu Qingshan stood up and moved for a while. He found that his body was much better. Many wounds were scabbed. Zhao Lu was still on the side, sleepy head bit by bit. Seeing Gu Qingshan wake up, he asked eagerly, "How are you doing? Can you take me with you?" The last sentence is to say his heart, if not for this point, I am afraid the healing pill will not come out. Gu Qingshan said truthfully. It's better, but I'm afraid it will take a few days to fully recover combat effectiveness. Rest, then. Zhao Lu stood up disappointed and turned out. After Zhao Lu left, Gu Qingshan sat alone on the ground, lost in thought. In his original era, the demons in the game had already entered the real world and destroyed the civilized order of human beings. The remaining human beings can only linger and wait for the doomsday to come. It all came to an end. Now think of it, in fact, as early as the game came, there have been many strange signs. At that time, various countries in the real world were all fighting for propaganda games. Food, money, beauty and power are all for you, as long as you are strong enough in the game. Many strange things have appeared all over the world, but these things have been covered by the high level of human beings, ordinary people do not know. It was not until the first weapon was brought into the real world from the game that ordinary people found that this was not a game, but a complete different world. Everyone is crazy to get into the game. But the demons in the game are really terrible, almost despair. Despite the influx of hundreds of millions of players into the game to help the alien Terrans resist demons, the Terrans are defeated again and again in every decisive battle. Until the last battle, the game released a full service announcement, claiming that once the battle fails, the demons will occupy the different worlds in the game, and then enter the real world in an all-round way. The real world is about to be completely destroyed by demons. The whole real world is crazy. Every human over the age of 5 is forced to enter the game to set up an account. In the words of public opinion propaganda, even a junior figure who has no offensive power can at least withstand an attack for a large army in a battle. But in the last battle, the Terrans were defeated. Only the National Guild led by Gu Qingshan completed the task assigned by the system and successfully killed in front of the final Demon Lord. When all the other players died in battle, Gu Qingshan beat the final Demon Master down to the blood of 10,000 bones, and he would have a chance to kill the final boss. But at this time, the heavy system announcement sounded twice in a row. The last spirit of the Terran fell, the Terran King's city was broken, and the battle decided that the Terrans were defeated. The game is over, the defense barrier is broken, and the real world is about to begin to destroy. Boom! A huge roar sounded, and people were forced to leave the game one after another, watching the end of the real world. Before he was forced to quit, Gu Qingshan raised his weapon and stabbed the devil in the heart. There was no time to see the result, Gu Qingshan only felt a black in front of him and was forced to leave the game. But he did not return to the real world of Doomsday, but completely lost consciousness. Vaguely, Gu Qingshan vaguely heard a mechanical announcement. Player Gu Qingshan kills the final Demon Lord, leaving the last fire for the desperate world falling into the abyss, and gives the final reward. Gu Qingshan felt that he had one more thing in his hand, and then he didn't know anything. When he woke up again, he was in the death pit outside the camp. Thinking of this, Gu Qingshan shook his head and sighed with regret. Unfortunately, the game has been released for 10 years, and I have never heard of any final reward. I really want to know what that is. No, wait. Gu Qingshan suddenly recalled one thing. When I wake up from the corpse heap, I seem to hold something in my hand. The dagger. Gu Qingshan looked down. The dagger is still on the ground. This is a short golden sword. There is no redundant complicated pattern on the body of the sword. It is bright and moist. When Gu Qingshan looks at it, he can see a layer of light gold on the dagger. As Gu Qingshan recalled bit by bit, his heart beat faster and faster. Before killing Wu Chang, the sword was already in hand. Inexplicably, he thought the dagger was very handy, so he didn't look for other weapons in the corpse heap. Was this sword originally buried in the corpse heap, or was it brought out of the final battle? Gu Qingshan held the dagger and hesitated for a while, urging the elixir of Dantian to infuse the dagger. As soon as the spirit power entered the dagger, the golden on the dagger soared and spread, forming a huge golden brilliance. A faint sense of the vicissitudes and majesty spreads from the golden dagger. Stowaway success, start activation. The cold sound of the machine rings. I don't know if it's an illusion. Gu Qingshan always feels that the cold sound of the system seems to have some uncontrollable excitement. The next moment, the golden dagger exploded into countless golden spots in Gu Qingshan's hands. The golden mountains are floating in the sky. Gu Qingshan only felt that there was a loud noise in his ear, and the sea of knowledge was blank. The whole person stood on the spot and could not move. After a long time, the voice of the cold machine with a strong sense of fatigue, issued a declaration. Activation successful, Ares operation interface is now open, www.milovnovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.